right, we took a break, and before we went for the break, we were talking about the things that mothers shouldn't eat, specific foods, and those that they should eat. And I would love Maria to continue right from there. Maria, so you were talking about the things or foods or nutrients women shouldn't eat, and those that should eat.
So the foods that mothers should eat are those high in protein, those that are high in omega-3s, those that are high in fats, but then also we remember to have them in right quantities. It's so important. Even when you're eating healthy, there should be acceptable amounts. They should have foods that are high in zinc. They should have foods that are high in folic or folate or folic acid. They should have foods that are high in protein. They need the carbohydrates for energy and other micronutrients like vitamin C, vitamin Bs, B1, B6, B9. So they need all those vitamins just as through they get pregnancy and then also during their pregnancy.
So when you talk about B1, all these Bs that you're talking about, and proteins and zincs, and for a person who is not well versed with these things, what kind of foods exactly have these nutrients?
Whole foods, vegetables, especially the green dark leaf vegetables, and then aim for more color. It's one of the easiest way you can tell if you're eating right quantities and more nutrients in your foods. If you're having 2 colors on your plate, that is a bad indicator that this person is not eating enough nutrients.
2 different colors, you mean?
Yes, if you're eating only 2 colors, you're not eating enough.
Ah, okay.
But if you have variety of colors,
you
took red things, you took yellow, orange, you took foods that are brown, the black ones, you get variety of foods. So I'm going to just mention a few of the foods that mothers can focus on. They are simple things like beans, peas, nuts. We have meat, we have chicken, we have fish. Fish is so important because it is one of those that are high in omega-3s. Like those are some of the things that help your child's brain to grow. They also help you prevent also those spinal bifidus. They reduce inflammation. So mothers should also eat things like, of course, pumpkins. They are good in zinc. They should eat cassava, sweet potatoes. All foods have a role they play. So it is just important have variety and have many colors on your plate. Minimally, you should go for 4 colors. If you're having cabbage, add some carrot, add some matoke, add some beans, add some juice, maybe orange juice, or take your oranges the way they are. Eat your apples. Let us go back to eating our food that we usually grow. But just aim for, did I eat anything red this week? Did I eat anything red today? Did I eat anything of slightly light color like the apples? Did I eat a watermelon? So it's just good for you to generally have more colors in your food. That's a good indicator that you are eating more nutrients. So if, for example, I'm eating rice and beans for lunch, posho and beans for supper, I'm not eating well.
Ideally, okay, that would be like 2 or 3 meals maybe for a pregnant woman. But we know that women snack a lot, especially when they're pregnant. Are there snacks they should avoid all their, snacks, how much snacks should they eat and what snacks shouldn't they eat?
Mothers should look at 5 meals a day. Even generally
5?
as a person, yes.
Okay.
Even me, I'll take 5 meals a day. Have your breakfast, have your snack, have your lunch, have your snack, have your dinner. And then in between, take a lot of fluids. They can be from water, your smoothies, your juices. But then also don't overly juice because juices predispose to the high sugars. Because whenever you juice, you concentrate the sugars in those fruits. So it is better eat them as fruits because by then you retain the fiber, they will ease your digestion. So as a mother, look at eating foods that are variety in color. That is one of the things that you know that I'm eating well. And then don't complicate things. There is quinoa, there are chickpeas, but let us not talk about things that our mothers don't usually see here. Maximize the normal food you find in the market. Try out the skuma wiki if you've never tried it. Today eat dodo, because all of them are different. They have concentrated micronutrients that mothers need, but when you have variety, you don't even get tired of them. If you're eating dodo for breakfast, lunch, dinner, your body will get tired and then you'll just not eat the greens. Yet they are very important for you to get your iron, your folate, your vitamins, those we're talking about. Vegetables, I would recommend for every mother. Fruits, eat. So your snacks should be maybe the fruits and maybe the nuts, sesame seeds, all seeds, walnuts, whatever seed you can find, or nuts. They are very good snacks. You can add an apple, you can add a fruit, but basically we want to have the snacks or the fruits as snacks. Or you can add nuts, but then also eating the too much nuts, they are so high in fats. So as a mother, that's why I would recommend you go to your wellness expert to lay out a meal plan for you that is best for you. Because I'll tell mothers, snack on this, and then there are mothers maybe who are diabetic. I'm telling you to snack on mangoes, it's not good for you. So we just have to get proper guidance from proper people or people who are well informed in that section so that you're eating things that are right for you. Because you'll find a mother who might need more carbohydrates than a mother who is healthy generally, or the mother who will need more protein because maybe they were very small in size. Maybe they've measured the kilograms of the baby as they're still in the tummy, and then they're telling the mother the baby is so low for this, gestation age. Eat more so that your baby gains more weight. That is where the fluctuations come in, and that's why you should have a tailored meal plan. But generally, look at 5 meals a day. Have your breakfasts, and one of the easiest things that mothers can do, besides the color, ensure that your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner has the macronutrients, what we call the proteins. Those are any source. Beans, peas, meat, chicken, all those ones. The eggs would be good for breakfast. So have protein on your breakfast, have the fruits on your breakfast, and then also make sure you get a carbohydrate so that it pushes you through the day. So if, let me say, for example, I took tea and eggs, that is not adequate enough. The eggs are for protein. But if you take your fruits, they'll give you carbohydrates. But if you're taking the fruits, then you're adding a lot of bread. It is just look for someone to guide you through. Because all foods are okay, but then the problem are the processed foods, and then also how are you eating them and what is the frequency. I'll tell a mother, have your carbohydrates to have energy throughout the day, and then they'll be like, okay, they said bread, posho, lumonde, everything, as long as it's food, it is a carbohydrate. And then for you, you're adding bread, muogo, lumonde on the same breakfast. You're just eating everything, which is not good for you. That is why I would recommend just go and visit your specialist. And then you just give people, sometimes you don't even have to go there. You give them a call and be like, okay, I hear there is proteins, there is carbohydrates, which one is best? And then they can ask you some few questions to guide them through. Because I don't want to tell Darren that, you know what, let pregnant women have 5 meals a day. For snacks, let them have fruits and nuts or apples. But then there are mothers who might not need that in their snacking time. You get me right? Have 5 meals, well planned, balanced throughout the day, that have more color, and then avoid things that are highly processed. If you're craving for a drink, don't run for the soda or for that excessively processed juice. You could maybe do a juice out of your watermelon. You could maybe do the juice out of your pineapple. But as I'm telling you, that pineapple is very sweet. So if a mother is already diabetic, that's where the challenge comes in. That as we are telling mothers, you can have a juice, you can have a snack that is an apple, you can have the fruits as a whole. There are some fruits that are not for some people. If someone is already having hypertension, that is where the differences come in. That when we go to a general eating meal plan, I'll sit down with you and tell you know what, you need 5 meals a day. But because of this and this and this, I want you to have this as your breakfast, because women need the energy. We need the energy. And then there is this idea of people making carbohydrates very bad, and yet they are not. If I'm eating my sweet potato in the morning, it is very rich in fiber. That's what our parents used to give us, and maybe even before, that's what we're eating as they grow up. But then these days you'll find a child is being, the mother is taking the sausage, they're snacking on samosas, then they're eating bread at the same time, which is processed food, highly processed, which is also bad. And then also that excessive snacking on junk foods or the foods that are highly fried, because those fryings also predispose to cancers. So the most important thing for any mother, I would recommend, look for more color. Don't overcook your foods. Have things that are normal, that your grandmother would look at as food.
Okay. So what do you think about caffeine?
Caffeine
because we're in a trend of where people have to take some coffee.
it's just a trend. Yeah, everyone is like, oh, my morning coffee, my afternoon coffee. So it's one of the foods we should avoid. Sorry, I had not answered that. But then the foods that should be avoided, the number one is alcohol. Number one is alcohol when you're pregnant, when you're planning to conceive, because like how you had mentioned it earlier already, alcohol affects the liver. As a mother, you need a very good functioning liver because your child's toxins come to you to put them out. So if your liver is already compromised, you put your child and yourself at risk. Avoid alcohol. Caffeine, they recommend less than 200 milligrams, but it is not necessary. Leave the caffeine out whenever you can. But there are those who can't, just have a little. If you are taking 2 cups a day, go to 1. If you are taking 1 cup, you'd reduce to just slightly. Maybe if you're taking a teaspoon, you go to a very, maybe quarter of a teaspoon. But we have to reduce the caffeine, the processed foods, because they are high in fat, they are high in saturated fats, they are high in those overly processed carbohydrates that lead to excessive gain weight. So mothers should avoid processed foods, the caffeine, the alcohol, and then some may like seafoods these days. Some of them are high in what we call, sorry, it's running out of my mind, mercury. So you should avoid some of the seafoods. Before you eat it, make sure that it is safe for a mother to eat.
Okay, well, that's been interesting here, but I'm afraid we've run out of our time, and I would still love you to come and we talk about after, when the baby is now born. How do we ensure that the mother is eating well to be able to feed the young baby? But thank you so much, Maria, for coming by. I hope we'll see you next time. When you get some time, please find time, because we need to complete this kind of conversation. You've been watching The Urban Doctor, and for now, I'll say bye-bye. See you next week.